Welcome back. We are in Season 2, Week 2, Series 2 of Community Clash League by Heroes Hearth. My name is NotParadox. I'll be hosting this awesome event. Here with me is Bahamut. Baha, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Apparently, it's against TOS to ask for a game number 3, but either way, I'm happy for whatever games we get this evening.
Right.
We are going to be getting into another best of 3 series for all of you at home. We just saw the members of the Pentanoms go up against Not Safe for Work from Home, and Not Safe for Work from Home took that in a 2-0 fashion. So now we get to see our second best of 3 of the evening, which is going to be Lil Rubies going up against Big Ding Energy. This is going to be an awesome back and forth between two amazing teams. And Paradox, any thoughts before we get into map number 1 for our first game?
I think that these teams are, I honestly think this is going to be a very close game. Big Ding Energy, they're super coordinated. Lil Rubies, they are also very coordinated. They're very aggressive when they play. Big Ding Energy, they wait for that perfect opportunity to go in. And as far as that first map, we're seeing the favorite among the competitive scene, which is Towers of Doom. And it's a tough map because it's one of those maps where you can choose to give up objectives because objectives don't give experience. So you can give up an objective to get more experience to then get a stronger lead over the opposing team to make it easier to win future objectives. So this map comes down to coordination, but a ton of communication, and it also comes down to a lot of different strategies. We've seen such a wide amount of strategies on this map, but they usually revolve around bottom lane, right?
Mm-hmm. Bottom lane control is a massive factor on this map. I want to quickly give a shout out to before we went to break. Heroes of Fitness, thank you for the raid, bringing all of your friends over here. Hoopa Loopa, thank you for the 500 bits. Widgate is going to be giving us 100, and I just see in chat more chips, please. Thank you for the 300 bits. Very much appreciated for all the support you brought to the table this evening, everyone. It looks like we're at 41% out of our bits. And we are going to have a slight little delay on one of the players here. They want to make sure that everything is all set and ready for them. So we can go ahead and break down how this prize pool is going to be coming out. We are going to be having 60% of the bits and tips going towards the players. First place will take $500, 40% of the community prize pool. Second place takes 430% of that prize pool. Third place to take 320%, and fourth place will take 210%. That is a whole lot of money going towards these players. Last week, the admins, after CCL week number 1, the admin sent me a message and told me exactly how much we made. And I'm just going to say, it's just shy of $1,000 that went into this prize pool that I believe was already like $3K or something like that. Like, the prize pool was already massive, and we just increased it so much last week. So thank you all so much for all of your support. We really, really appreciate it. And the big thing here is we can put this back towards the players. We can give them something more to vie for. It's not just, a trophy that we mail out or a set of t-shirts or anything like that. This is some hard cash that they can use to buy a new router. Laura could buy more than 3 heroes for her account. We just got so many options. I know but that's the thing. She's only played like 3 heroes. Like, I want to see her on other stuff. Like, it's not shade. It's just like, teams, ban out what she's on and let's force her on something else. Let's see it. Let's see what she's got to bring to the table.
That is something that we don't talk about a lot, but it's like for players that stick with a very small roster, it's like you could immediately remove them from the game on a we've seen Aullora like in the previous season, in the previous CCL season 1.
Yeah.
Aullaura's Ragnaros was the game-changing moment that took it from what would have been a 3-1 to a complete reverse. Mm-hmm. And they were able to completely change up the entire game off of her play and her play. I mean, I want to say her play alone, but it was a play that she made that completely shifted the entire thing. So that is definitely something that you can do. If you can get rid of a good player because they have a small roster pool, do it. Honestly, ban Ragnaros, ban Lunara, pick her last hero.
So we can just go ahead and let you all see what the score is currently for our, you can see the standings currently. This is our scoreboard. So Not Safe for Work from Home is going to be +4 currently. We have Pentanom's -4. So they gotta make some plays happen next week. And we're about to see Big Ding Energy versus Lil Rubies. That could be it could be +4, -4, or it could be a lot different. I don't know. Like, I'm hoping for 3 games in this one, but apparently
Mhm.
these players are like, "No, we don't want 3 games, like, we want tight 2-0s," and I'm like, "Let's give the people what they want. Lots and
Yeah,
lots of
I
Heroes Storm
really,
action."
I always want game three. I think as casters
Yes.
in general, like game three is
Mhm.
always fun. It's especially like close games and a game three because then it's like we had last season, man. There was one. It was like we had a 30-minute game into like a 26-minute game into like a
Yeah.
35-minute game, and I was like, this is Heroes of the Storm, right? Like that's what I want to see. I mean, it's just wild sometimes, and these teams with their coordination, like they're aggressive. These teams want to close out these games. They want to get these fights to be fast, and so it's always a surprising thing to see. But yeah, I mean, I'm ready. We're waiting on just a couple little things right now. But
Yeah.
man,
Darkshire, really
Baja.
quickly, thank you for the 500 bits. I did see a really interesting note in chat. Some person, Jay Who, I think it is, was saying something, can we get merch with Bahamut's beard on it, the outline of it or something? Like, these are some 200 IQ ideas coming out right now. So Workhorse, I hope you're watching.
So let's talk about
Next,
that for a second, right?
yeah,
Let's talk about
yeah.
that. So what I'm imagining after I read that comment, like I kind of want to see like a silhouette of like
Mhm.
this, right? And then I want to see maybe have it like the whole thing's white, the whole
Okay.
shirt's white. Then you have like a black bar that goes up like this. Kind of
Okay.
like like those like minimalistic icon profile icons of like kerosene. Like let's
Yes.
start
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Let's get that minimalist profile of kerosene, and then we're gonna go up like this. And instead of it being like the colors of kerosene, we want it to be like an orange silhouette, right?
Ooh.
That's what we would want. So the top's black, and then it's orange down on the bottom, and just use like a darker orange. Man, that's it. I'm ready for this.
And we'll just plaster fight time on the back of it. I think that'll be our t-shirt for CCL season 3 maybe.
I mean,
Soon TM.
if they made that T-shirt quick, I would wear that next week. I would totally wear that next week.
Workhorse.
But they got to like get it out, right? Because it's
Mhm.
gotta. I mean, you gotta ship it. Shipping these days is always a little sketchy, so it's gotta be quick, right? Kagirii is good with those icons. I mean, we've got
That's
some
true.
hilarious icons. Have you guys seen some of these icons though? Like I always look at like the pentanoms and I'm like, this looks like a tattoo. And like I kept saying, I was like, who are the 4 artists that did this, right? Like because they all seem like different styles. I was talking to Kagirii. Kagirii is like, there's not 4 artists. Like I did all of these. And my
Yeah.
favorite one is just that not safe for work from home.
Yep.
It's like it's the greatest little icon. Hilarious name, but it's the greatest icon. It's like all dressed up, has a headset, wearing a t-shirt with or not a t-shirt, a dress shirt with a tie, no pants. No pants. Like spam the chat with that icon, guys, because that thing is
Please.
hilarious.
If you
And if
have
you
it,
don't
please
have that
absolutely do it.
icon, there's always Twitch Prime, right? If you guys don't have that icon, free sub Twitch Prime. You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't need to do the whole
Mhm.
spiel.
Mhm. Even then, if you don't have it, if it's not up and available, you can use your channel points to unlock emotes as well, if you didn't know that. So, by watching the channel, you can basically get free emotes. You don't have to sub if you can't. Because it is hard times. I'm not going to say the thing that
Oh
everyone
yeah.
keeps hearing, but it's, $4.99 is it's a lot different nowadays. But
Sorry,
as we
Baha.
noted
I'm
beforehand, yeah.
uncertain about what you're talking about. I'm very uncertain about what you're asking about these times. No, yeah, it's a bit
uh,
wild, but that icon, man, that one always cracks me up.
For anyone wondering, while we're rambling, we are waiting for one player to get back in. Actually, they just joined back in. They wanted to restart their router, make sure everything is running smoothly for tonight's matchup, so that way there's no pauses or anything like that. Looks like they are back in, so I'm going to go and ask if the teams are... Oops, I forgot the R. So we got one ready from one team. We'll get going here into game number 1. For anyone wondering at home, we are going to be going to Towers of Doom. Sky Temple and Hanamura were banned out by the members of Lil Rubies, and Big Ding Energy banned out Dragonshire and Battlefield of Eternity. Okay, that's the same team saying ready. Sorry, I just have to make sure because I've done that in the past where I've just like gone. I'm like, wait, no, it's just 2 people from the same team say that they're ready. So either way, like I'm super excited about this. But Towers of Doom, this will be the map choice of Little Rubies, as Big Ding Energy won the coin flip and opted for first pick priority for game number 1. And I'm gonna poke at team 1 and see if they have already.
And while we're waiting, one more time, guys, we're at 43% of our bit goal. You know what would be better than 43%? 45% of our bit goal. You guys were expecting me to say 100%, right? Can we just get 45%, right? We just need
Lexia pushed it up.
few more bits in there.
Bits.
Looks like that got us to 45%. You know what's better than 45%? Maybe I should have set the bar a little higher.
You know what's better than 45%? Getting into game number 1 for our second best of 3 is we have Towers of Doom coming on in, and we are in this. So Towers of Doom, we were talking a little bit strategy before we kind of got off a little sidetracked right there. And strategy, holding bottom lane typically is what we see a lot of teams do, but also poke potential is a big thing to consider as well. How are you going to delay out some of these shrines? Are you going to prioritize the Jane? Are you going to prioritize the Hanzo? Some outliers as well. Is Urel going to get banned out? Yes. Is Mochrie's Tracer going to get banned out? Yes. Okay. Honestly, see, here's the thing. I see all these chats, and I was seeing them actually say that they weren't scared of the Tracer and they weren't going to ban it out, but they still do it here. So something must have changed in between from when they were talking about the games tonight to when they actually get into draft. And lastly, from me, Falme, thank you for the 300 bits. Very much appreciated, my friend.
Yeah, it's a challenging thing because it's like they ban a little bit of what Lunara or a little bit of what Aullora does, a little bit of what Mochrie does, but then Aullora just plays Ragnaros. And it's strange that they did ban the Lunara only because Aullora has been on the solo lane, and even when Rag was banned, she didn't go to Lunara. She just went to Malthael and stayed in the solo lane. So I don't think you need to ban Lunara. I think you could simply just ban Ragnaros and then just play against her with that Malthael. But at the same time, it's going to be tricky. I mean, we see Kagirii on Sylvanas, Lakefu playing ETC, and this is what I was talking about a little bit. I did see some role swaps coming out from this team. They've been practicing with these role swaps. Lakefu, despite how strong she is on support, she's been put into the tanking role. And there could be 100 reasons for this. I think one of the reasons is her backup role has been the tank for a while, and she's been practicing it a little bit more, so now she gets more opportunities. And then we see Alicia sneak out the Deckard so that Lil Rubies doesn't end up getting their Deckard.
So we have a Sylvanas grabbed here. I think they were a little worried about Jazzy's Sylvanas play. She is fairly strong on that hero and well versed. I'm wondering what we actually see ban-wise. So they have the Ragnaros Garrosh. They need a little more poke. And I was just about to say, Hanzo is something that Mochrie typically goes into. I believe I actually just saw a video of yours pop up on my feed. Is Mochrie's Hanzo that good? So I was just like, oh, you know, it's perfect, a Hanzo ban, and they come through with that immediately. So we'll see if Mochrie's maybe forced onto Tassadar or something else. O'Malley Music, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Brand New Motorbike, thank you for the 500 bits as well. Thank you for pushing us up further and further in our community prize pool this evening for our bits. And last ban on the right hand side, probably going to be healer, something maybe. Ooh, I was thinking in the Ana territory, but it's actually going to be Deckard. Oh, excuse me, Stukov. Yeah,
I've seen Lashes play 3 healers so far. Okay. I've seen her play Deckard, I've seen her play Stukov, and I've seen her play Rhaegar, and that's it. So Rhaegar's still available. She doesn't need to pick it right now because they're probably not going to be taking a Rhaegar. They already have a healer, and I mean, as much as I like Rhaegar in the solo lane, I doubt we're going to be seeing that. But at the same time, we do have Zul picked up by Liam, and we have Brightwing, which is a pretty interesting one on this map. The downside about Brightwing that I've always been worried about is, in order to heal your tank, you have to get in the position that the opposing tank can hit you.
Yep.
And I'm always worried about that on Brightwing because you have to teleport to your tank to heal him, or you just have to stay right at the edge. And now we have that Zarya. Increased movement speed to Garrosh while Brightwing has to get close to ETZ. That means that Brightwing's always going to be in a scary situation, and it's going to come down to, can Lakefu eat those throws for her team?
Kyle Ferguson, thank you for the raid. Thanks for bringing all your friends over here. I actually really like the draft for Big Ding Energy. Not what I was expecting. By the way, can we talk about that skin really quickly? Hello?
It's a good skin.
I didn't realize that her lance wasn't an lance
anymore. It's a
anymore.
lightning bolt.
That is the coolest thing. Sorry, it just caught me so off guard. I hadn't seen that. But I think this is such a strong composition coming out from Big Ding Energy. Really, really difficult to actually kill anyone here. Decker Kane healing should be on point. Zarya shielding should be right there in time. Vala's got a lot of mobility. Garrosh can amplify anyone's ability with I like to call it out of the fray, but it's into the fray, that activatable to throw your friendly units. So on the opposing side, I think the only weak link is that Brightwing, and it's the positioning. I think that they're going to be kind of forced into in some of those instances, as you were bringing up. That's the only outlier I'm really seeing here. Like, I think both these have really strong compositions. It's just that Brightwing, I think, is gonna need to make some massive plays.
Oh yeah, I mean and Cassia's interesting. I mean, most people right now have been considering Cassia rather weak, but we could actually see her in action in a competitive game, which will be a ton of fun. With that being said, do you want to start us off by introducing Lil Rubies?
Yeah, on the left-hand side, we got Lakefu on the ETC, Lashes on the Brightwing, Trikslyr is going to be on the Cassia, Not Kagirii is going to be on the Sylvanas, and we have Vesper, or Liam, on the Zool.
The battle begins.
On the right side, we have Big Ding Energy, and we've got Jazzy playing Vala, Mochrie on Zarya, Vipey on Garrosh, Aullora on Ragnaros, Alicia on Deckard. Yeah, I'm really excited to see Cassie in a competitive scene, because I personally, I mean, she was sitting at a 35% win rate, and I still was like, but guys, have you tried this? Or have you tried this? And it's like, I really want to see her work, because despite that really low win rate, I do want to see her work. What we see him going into is the stacking quest for Q build. Already has 3 stacks. The downside about this quest is most of these quests that are like this will stack it like 3s to 5s. Like Tacitar's Q, for example, stacks at 5 every time that it hits someone, and it can hit multiple people with a single use. Her stacks at 1, which means it's going to stack a lot slower. Now, the benefit is that they did give her 2 charges, and it can hit other people with it as well. But it's going to be really difficult to see, because Q build can be a little tricky, and that is going to be what this whole thing is going to revolve around, I think, is if he can get these stacks quick, I think Cassie's going to be a little scary. But if he can't, I don't know. I mean, she can be rather squishy, and the trait, I mean, it drops very quickly, right?
I'm looking at all this too. Like, I'm trying to do like my own breakdowns, and like I was actually watching the rotation with Zool versus Ragnaros, and the one thing I'm wondering here is, will Ragnaros clears waves fairly good, but Zool also adds skeletal mages to the lane. So, like, how will the clear change? Because we've got good back and forth, and we actually have some awesome scaling from both sides. We've got the Sulfurous Hungers at level 1 for Aullora. We've also got the Warbreaker for Vipey as well. So they've got some extra tools within those kits as they do finish up those level 1s. But that top to mid rotation, that double soak, I'm really wondering how that's going to work out, because Liam is really, really strong within these rotations, and I think they've been playing quite a bit of Zool. And at the same time, Aullora, she played, I want to say Ragnaros, I think they played like almost 6 games today on their Wednesday show. And I think she was Ragnaros for 4 or 5 of those 6 games. So it's just like, this top lane wave clear between these two is going to be really, really interesting back and forth. And I was noting this in the hype videos, like, I want to see who's going to win this out, because they're both very strong solo laners.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is Zool is the best double soaker in this game. He clears just as fast as anyone else, and he's also adding, like you said, those extra minions to the wave, which is hard to deal with. And they explode now. So it's like, even if you try to deal with them, you're going to take a lot of unnecessary damage, which most double soakers don't do extra damage while you're doing this like trade-off double soaking. And so he's going to cover all of that soak. He's grabbing a fountain. He's going to be able to grab this left objective. Now there's a chance that Aullora comes right down and helps out, or she might go up and just grab the safe objective, and they both go from there. In this case, we see Liam still prioritizing that soak over the objectives, and we see Garrosh getting that movement speed, going in really quick, grabbing Trikslyr. Trikslyr's getting rather low. He got rooted, which means that he didn't have that extra armor, and being one of the lowest health people in the game on this new Cassia without that armor is terrifying. But he's very mobile. He was able to get out of that fight, jump right back in, and still being rather scary. At the same time, we see Lakefu going in, just trying to distract as much as possible. Not too much has really happened, though, out of all of this, and he gets thrown back in. That 50% movement speed, faster than mount speed. So brutal. I mean, it's going to have to always be blocked by ETC, or it will always lead to a kill.
Can we talk about the fact that they just took all of the shots from the first round? So far, Big Ding Energy coming into game number 1 with a perfect score thus far. This is very rare. Like, I don't see many, if any, Towers of Doom games start this way in a competitive format. Like, there's at least one gotten. Usually top left and right are traded out, but Zool was down there the entire time.
Yeah, I think
they weren't winning that. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, they took the riskier play there. I'm really surprised about the Cassia pick, honestly. I mean, it's definitely one of those that it could have paid off really, really well because people aren't familiar with facing her, a good Cassia. But, I mean, again, like, she was seriously sitting at like a 35% win rate in Storm League. And it's like, you want to bring that to a competitive, like, area? I mean, what are they really hoping for? Like, what are you expecting out of this Cassia in the late game? What tools does she bring? I mean, there is one thing, right? She gets, I mean, that's the level 20 though, but she can attack through armor. So that would be good against Garrosh, but you can't hope for level 20 on this map.
Like, 20 isn't that popular, which is weird to say. Like, you said that and I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, I don't feel like this map typically goes to 20. It's somewhere in the 18 to 19 level range. It's typically where the game ends. So this is definitely an interesting. I'm watching the minimap as well. Like, it's so interesting to see the setup right now and what they're going to play into this. Do they play it aggressive? Do they play it passive? Do they trade this out? What's the game plan coming out from Lil Rubies? Because they're already down 12 core health, and that's huge. Like, Towers of Doom, like, that's a looming number over your head. You're like, all right, we at least have to get this phase in our favor. When we get, like, I was thinking about this, when's the best time to jump into comms? When we have a single ultra phase, I think that's gonna be the best time to try and jump into comms just to see how the coordination goes over that one. But this will be just traded out left and right, so they do get some damage on the board. It's not gonna be a perfect game for Big Ding Energy anymore, as they take 4 damage, 36 to 24 in core health. As we rotate back to bottom lane, camp on the right is gonna be up in 45, and camp on the left will be up in 50.
Yeah, I mean, normally if you're going to be giving up like a huge amount of the objective on this map, what you should be doing is gaining a huge amount of experience, right? That was kind of the old go-to. If you were running a late game team, you would go for experience. And a huge throw, again, Cassia out of position. We've got to make sure that Lakefu eats all those throws, gains the armor. If not, it's going to be just a stomp. And this is the thing. You're going against, in my opinion, the most coordinated team in CCL. So you need to make sure that you're bringing either the same coordination or you're just bringing your best, the best heroes. And I mean, it's rough. It's like we had that roster swap. We've had a lot of stuff going on, not enough time to practice all of it. And they had a strong showing before. So it's very, very tricky to see this. But I mean, overall, what are you expecting? We've got level 10s. Out of these level 10s, are you expecting anything particular?
Well, the Sulfur Smash is a little exciting. There's going to be I can't think of the word for it. Either way, they're going to be zoning them out with that. There's going to be Cassia and ETC going down. The Sulfur Smash comes through. They find the quad kill coming through as the Expulsion Zone set up a massive win for them.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this before. I've talked about how you can give movement speed to Garrosh and you don't always need to throw. If the enemies are clumped, you can give movement speed, he can walk up and taunt, and that's a 2-second setup for almost any ability in the game. And Sulfur Smash is a great example because they just reduced the cooldown of Sulfur Smash from 80 seconds to 60 seconds, meaning that it's going to be up almost as often as AoE taunt. And again, Trikslyr is getting caught trying to go for just the stall. And we're looking at a 36 to 20 right now.
Yeah, there was for a second I was like, oh, now's a good time to get into comms, and then because it's the single altar, and then I look around, I'm like, oh yeah, there's no one to really like. That's it. They got the altar. They got the kill that they needed. Lakefu's gonna power slide right out of that one. Expulsion Zone once again is just a touch late, trying to just keep Lakefu from getting back towards the friendly side of the lane. Warlord's challenge on Kagirii as they step further forward. Vipey's gonna pop the Indomitable, stay a while and listen. Mosh Pit will interrupt it as well as the power slide. They're all gonna step into it. They find the kill onto Garrosh. Blink forward from Lashes as well, but they're very low as you're pointing out. Ball Lightning gonna jump around. That's gonna be Cassia diving in as well. Ball Lightning still bouncing from player to player. I think they get the max bounces from that one. That will be Zool going down to the Ragnaros in the upper portion of the map. We will be seeing Decker Kane go down as well. The poor old man gonna get chased down, and they'll be able to grab a couple kills for themselves on the side of Lil Rubies.
Yeah, I mean, those were the first 2 kills that Lil Rubies were able to get this entire game. Now, can they bring it back? What are the power spikes that they're hitting at these tiers? Do they help them with these situations, right? We have Remorseless allowing Sylvanas to be a little further back, right out of the range of Garrosh's Q, which is great. We've got Zul, who can start healing for a huge amount of the damage that he does. Safety Dust, just honestly, it's just going to be a little bit more healing, longer duration of that movement speed, right? And we've got Mic Check, that'll be great for peeling. But overall, I mean, none of these are really game changing. They're all just safe talents that are going to help a little bit to not get completely blown up. But it's the play style that's going to be really adjusted. Sounds good.
There comes.
Activate them now.
I can get one delay.
We didn't.
Rag's on.
Did we stop him? We're safe.
Yeah, rag. Rooted.
Going.
Vipey.
Yep.
Vipey saved Rag.
Okay.
We're kind of split here.
Right.
I'm on Rag.
Down. Nice trick.
Rag's like in our.
You don't have heals. Be careful here.
Okay,
Good job.
Got it. Alright, I'm gonna snag this.
Yeah, Rag's really deep. Rag's like in our spawn. Rag's in our
Okay, I'm trying.
We're good. It's all good. Just play for camps. I'm gonna double slow.
Can we take their camp?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna start channeling.
Wait, I'm gonna help you guys actually. Ooh, this is gonna
There's 2 down. It's fine.
That was really well played from Lil Rubies. A little chaos in the communication, but they end up getting to the target that they're all calling for. And you can hear very clear comms, not a lot of chaos when they're all in the thick of that fight.
Yeah, when they get to engage on their terms, having Lakefu go in, then suddenly this whole Garrosh combo goes out the window, right? There's a quote that I've used before from, I believe it was Mike Tyson, who's like, everyone has a plan until you're punched in the face. And that's exactly what happened. Lil Rubies just did a quick punch in the face, and Big Ding Energy, their whole plans went out the window. The one difficulty in these fights, though, Brightwing's taking so much damage and got dropped rather quickly in that fight. The rest of the fight was just Kagirii doing so much damage on the other side that made it to where, despite the fact that Brightwing died, Kagirii dropped them all so low that they couldn't turn around. That was really good, and that's really making me wonder, is Kagirii going to take that healing talent at 16 now?
Well, 16s are going to be coming in for both teams. We can take a peek at that here. It's being held. I'm waiting to see. What are you going for, Sylvanas?
I mean, the unstoppable would be great. The unstoppable would be great, but there's the heal. That's what I had a feeling, because it's like, you can't always rely on that Brightwing's heal, especially against that team comp. So now you have your own healing. The downside is without that unstoppable, and again, so much CC. Look at how much CC is on that opposing team. Lacking that unstoppable is going to be really rough.
So double altar in top, single in bottom. Seems like the members of Lil Rubies aren't going to show in mid lane. They're going to take the wraparound through boss, and they're going to be going for both of these in top lane. It doesn't seem like Big Ding Energy cares to try and go for that. That's really weird. This is a really weird play for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, Meteor first into a trait could be enough, but the Meteor came out a little late. She went for the trait, and then she was like, no, I'm not going to do this. However, priority on bottom lane. We've talked about how powerful bottom lane is on this map. If you gain control of bottom lane, whoa, this is a bold strategy right here. We've got Liam going in with just lashes. Everyone else is coming in late, but he just fully heals himself with his W, is able to pop an ult, slowing down Jazzy. Jazzy gets hit by an amazing arrow coming out from Kagirii, and they're able to sneak some kills. We do see Brightwing getting dropped again, but look at that Mosh, able to get an amazing Mosh, tons of damage coming out from Trikslyr, from Kagirii, melting 2 different people, and Liam does get dropped. 2 more swings, he would have stayed alive there, but they did not give him that opportunity. And now, once again, I mean, it's a 2 for 3. Lakefu should be able to peel them off relatively easily by knocking them both back, getting that cooldown reduction. And they're slowly coming back into this game. They're getting favorable trades with these objectives, and they're getting favorable trades in these team fights.
I was watching that, and I was like, there's no way they turn this around. And then that mosh pit comes out. Oh, that mosh pit from Lakefu was so on point. And the other thing to consider too is Sulfur Smash was down, so they didn't have to worry about that damage. And there was no expulsion zone from Mochrie, because that was used early in the fight as well. So there was no way for them to deal with it. Garrosh was in the thick of that mosh pit, so what are they going to do? Slap their keys and not do anything? Exactly. So that was just really well played coming out from the side of Lil Rubies as they start to breathe some life in this game number 1. Sylvanas does have that Mercenary Queen from level 4. It's why you're seeing some of the sappers on the left-hand side enlarge and have that kind of orangish glow around them. They're going to try and feed these in through bottom. as we do have a bottom lane altar. But let's actually jump into the comms of Big Ding Energy as they are on the aggressive side.
Cannot contest it by the time Zul gets here.
Without box,
they're
though?
kidding.
I'll
No,
chill
If they step up, I just shield you and you go. She just needs to get a little closer. Shield.
Got it.
He just glides out of that. It's gotta be on the Cassia. We can't do it to ETC. It doesn't work.
I was trying to if they were just next to each other.
Well, we got the objective. It's back up.
Aullora.
And in the tower.
Yep, that won't work. Nice potions. Oh my god, nice.
Shield and
Potions everywhere.
Yeah.
Careful.
Trikslyr's low. I'm grabbing rubies. Fuck, they spawns.
We should have Mosh available, so be very careful with healing into them.
Oh my god.
1 for 1.
Awesome comms right there. It was actually like they started to go sideways for them, but they actually turned around. That once again, Sulfur's smash from Aullora has been so on point. She's able to snipe these smashes. Do you remember last week on Towers of Doom in bottom lane, the Molten Core with the snipe from Sulfur's smash, and then the follow-up snipe with the shifting or the living meteor? Like, these are just so on point, especially for something that has a cast delay time.
Yeah, I was honestly last week I was blown away by those Sulfur smashes. The fact that this has a 60-second cooldown and she has practiced this enough to where she can use it effectively. A lot of people didn't like this ult just because it was one of those where you needed that aiming or you needed a setup, and so people didn't run it a lot. While Lava Wave just always got value from something. And she's landing these without a setup, but she also has a setup a lot. We're approaching level 20s for both of these teams. Single altar phase. Anything in particular that you're expecting a shift now that we've got these 20 talents, right? We've got some powerful talents at 20s. We've got the Deafening Blast, Longer Silence. We didn't go with the armor removal on auto attack. We went with Infinite Lightning, Tor Bust. Anything you're expecting changing in these fights now?
Perfect gems. That is a 6-second cooldown on Harajic Cube, a 5-second cooldown on Ruby. That is so much healing at level 20 for them. Kagirii is getting stalled out a little bit right now. Ragnaros will be coming in for this 5v5 as it's a mosh pit from ETC interrupted on the right-hand side. Stay well and listen from AliciaWins. Won't catch on to anyone. Ball Lightning will jump out. I think it's interrupted as well. Brightwing's the first one to go down. There's a Warlord challenge from Vipey as well that pulled them in. That's going to be a Sulfur smash. Unfortunately, doesn't connect onto really anyone really right there as ETC does go down. Banshee's out from Kagirii as well. Mochrie chasing with the rest of the team. They could go for Fort down here. There's 2 dead on the opposing side. Ragnaros can just hold this, and they can definitely get Fort and 5 shots off in favor of Big Ding Energy.
It's, again, I feel like the biggest issue here is Lil Rubies is playing great, but Brightwing dies at the start of every single fight, and this isn't really Lash's problem. Like, it's not her play that's making that issue. It's purely on Brightwing on this map. The value of bringing, or the downsides of Brightwing isn't worth it for a map like this. Like, you normally want to have, like, Dragonshire, where you're always fighting, like, these small fights, so you have the opportunity to, like, heal the person you want to heal, and then you don't just instantly die. But in constant fights, you can't heal your front line without getting in a risky position. And we just see a little chuck of one of those minions get a free damage off. But yeah, it's like, I'm really worried. They're fighting down a healer almost every fight. And in fact, Brightwing's doing half of Deckard's healing because of this.
Oh! Dear Lord, the single target pick onto Trikslyr right there. They actually got, they got all 3 of those sappers over because they were at 8th and they're down to 5 core health. If anyone's wondering why that initial sapper went through and why it's funny, they used Into the Fray, and they threw one of the sappers over the wall, so it does instantly get that trigger, but they're gonna use Sylvanas to lock these down. ETC gonna push them back with the face melt. Zul grabbing a camp in the top lane on the minimap. Another face melt coming out from them. There's an expulsion zone. 1 extra sapper goes over. Is there a second one? There's going to be another one going over. Now, here's the thing. Double altar phase plus a boss up and available. Zul's going to try and feed these sappers in through top, but Ragnaros wants to stop that from even happening.
I mean, you have to win. If you're on Lil Rubies, you have to win all of these, and you have to win it with power. You can't sit mid for very long, because if they set up here, there's no way you're winning this. They're gonna just grab the one and win the game. So they have to be able to push in quick and wipe the entire team, or they're not going to get it. They do have Mosh, but they don't have Cassia. They go for Mosh. It is a Torbuzz. It gets interrupted immediately, though. Big stun followed up right afterwards. We've got Liam sitting in the corner healing for a ton, but we've got a taunt into a Sulfur Smash, dropping everyone. Sleep, followed up by stun, and it is just a stomp at this point. They just didn't have time to try to fight a battle without Cassia, and this channel is going to be game. They actually, after this desperate fight, they could honestly take all three both of the channels and the boss all at the same time if they wanted to.
Fun little fact: if you ever look at the minimap on this, if you look at the minimap here, the Raven Lord shoots little Raven missiles, and the Gravekeeper shoots little skulls. If you never knew that, watch your minimap next time you're playing Towers of Doom. That was a fun match number 1 for these teams here, Paradox. Like that back and forth was so entertaining. But I feel like this, I mean, the Brightwing had 46,806 healing, and Deckard had 78,515. Really, really good healing from both. But this is just one of those things where, like, I don't think the Brightwing worked out for them too well. The Blink heal put them in so many aggressive situations that Brightwing really doesn't want to be in. They couldn't just polymorph and kind of get away. There was just so much collapse from the enemy team. So looking at these drafts, I think that they had a strong draft on the side of Lil Rubies. I just think that maybe the Cassia and the Brightwing should be swapped out. Zool wasn't awful, but it just feels like they just mostly just rotated around and got wave clear. I mean, 208,000 soak from that Zool, which I feel like they were just kind of doing a lot of double rotation, just clearing up waves to keep the friendly team in that experience realm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would have liked to see, as far as Cassia goes, I mean, you already had that sustained damage from Sylvanas. I would have liked to see some burst, and maybe something that can drop Garrosh a little easier. I don't know. It's like, that's kind of what I would have liked to see out of it. Brightwing, Dragonshire, I love Brightwing 4. I've also seen some crazy stuff happen with Brightwing on Braxis. But if you're going to run Brightwing in a teamfight-oriented map, you need to make sure that you've got Emerald Wind, so when you do heal the front line using your trait, you can immediately push everyone away. The downside is you might screw up what your team's doing in that fight, but the upside is you at least maybe stay alive. But at the same time, Vipey was so good at just popping Unstoppable, walking up, taunting both of them for long enough for that Sulfur Smash to just kill Brightwing every single fight. And it's brutal. It's like, I know they want to be banning Hanzo away from Mochrie, and they want to ban Tracer away from Mochrie, but it's like, this is exactly what happened last time. Tracer was banned, Hanzo was banned, he played Zarya with Garrosh, they dominated. Then it's like, you almost have a better shot at like letting him get Hanzo and getting a little bit more of an aggressive team. Run like Rhaegar and Bloodlust and just charge in there. That's what Europe's been doing in their competitive scene, is like they just charge into their backline. They just jump on them. And it's like, maybe we see that.
It's widespread. It's not just Europe. Like, I'm saying that most teams within multiple different divisions of leagues are playing in North America are playing Bloodlust.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I love
Bloodlust is all over. So I always like to highlight this fact. You can zoom out there's 3 different zooms when you're observing. There's the standard player view. There's the one that we typically show for you. And there's that third one, that super far one that it's almost very much like League of Legends Summoner Rift. In that one, in the third most zoom, if you hover over Rhaegar and you hover over Gladiator's War Shout at level 20, it's still bigger than that screen itself. The range on that is insane. And I believe you double the duration. So it's like a 16-second Bloodlust as well. Like, I don't know why people aren't almost first picking Rhaegar at this point, just because he's so valuable. And there's so many things you can still build around Bloodlust. Like, yeah, like Tassadar Archon form with Rhaegar is the bread and butter that I've been seeing a lot of teams run. But even then, Greymane's really strong. You have Raynor that's really strong. Like, there's tons of great options. Thrall, I think a Thrall Phoenix actually too.
So like the one that I usually push is like the old school press R to win meta, which is Thrall's Earthquake. Then you run Hyperion and you run Bloodlust and you pop all 3. Your whole team just runs right through their team. They're all slowed from Earthquake. You've got shields after level 20. Everyone can't get away from Hyperion. They can't get away from your team running in. And I don't even overthink the Bloodlust, because if you overthink the Bloodlust draft, then they're just going to pick Artanis. Your whole team gets blinded for 4 seconds and you lose everything. But if you just 3 things, that's all you need, 3 things. And that your whole team is just wiping through their team. So it's like, that's what you can run against Hanzo. Because then he's like at melee range, he's like, I'm going to use my arrow to stun, and then I'm going to hop away. And it's like, well, there goes your best tool that you used to set up every fight in the previous series, was that Hanzo arrow into something else. And so that's what I would expect again is he's going to probably go for that. But I really, really want to see Lil Rubies do something great here. I think that their roster swap was interesting. I say that because I don't think there was bad. Lakefu played a mean tank, and despite the downsides of Brightwing, we still had a lot coming out from Lashes as well. So I just would like to see more from Lashes. If they're going to stick with this role swap, while, again, Lakefu's one of the best healers in this entire event, you might not be able to reach that level, but you need to at least make it worth taking Lakefu off of that amazing role and putting it onto another role. Because if not, if you can't make it worth doing that, we need to get Lakefu back on healer because, again, her heals almost allowed them to win both of those games on the previous series. So it's going to be a tricky one. Like, if you're really going to want to take someone off of that, you've got to come up with a reason for it, like a major reason. So I'd like to see Lashes on something like, again, I've seen her play Rhaegar before. Actually, I'm getting that mixed up. She doesn't play Rhaegar. She doesn't. I remember specifically she was streaming, practicing with someone, and she said, Rhaegar's my lowest level. I can't play Rhaegar. And I completely forgot about that. So that's one of the downsides is like if Deckard gets picked up, she does get limited in that healer roster. So I don't know.
This will be interesting. All right. So I see chat. I see you. Don't worry, chat. I see you. How about this? Okay. They want Chrono. They really want Chrono. It's just give Chrono. Now,
but like, how many bits do we need to get Chrono out right?
Like 50%?
Because he's grumpy and his light just turned off, which means that he's going to sleep. So
wait,
we're at 50%.
Wait, did they turn off the light themselves? Like, is it just like a little step light? They're just like, yeah, I'm done today. Like,
yeah, when Chrono wants to be done, he turns off the lights and then he goes to sleep. Like I don't get the confusion in that. So I think we need to
do that.
75%. We need to hit 75%.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair. Like that's easy. That's easy. All right. So there you go, everybody. We'll wake up the turtle when, not if, when we hit 75% of our goal. You heard us. Yes, you heard us. Bits fam. Alex Dids in chat knows what's up. All right. Let's see really quickly. Let's ask if the teams are ready because we actually have our lobby up and going. Angry Dwarf with 3,000 bits. Hello.
Oh, wow.
Desire for the turtle is real.
Give turtle. Wow. 3,000 bits. That is awesome. Guys, remember that these bits, we don't just take these. It's not just Baha and I just rolling in dough back here. The bits go to the prize pool, making sure that the production keeps going. And it just make sure that these events stay fun. Make sure that we're going to be getting a season 3. So it's not just... The bits aren't just going to Kronos, right? He's not just getting a whole bunch of food. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty exciting. And yeah, no, he doesn't just turn off his light. It's on a timer. I figured I'd just clarify that because I don't want people to like buy a tortoise thinking that it's like, oh, it just eats its own food, turns off its own light, turns on its light in the morning. Like like he's a master of time, but no, we still use a timer.
And space. All right, everywhere. We're gonna get into game number 2 here. We are heading into Volskaya Foundry. If you're sitting at home and you're like, wait a minute, there's a lot of turtle talk, but I don't know how we got to Volskaya Foundry. Let me get you updated on that. Sky Temple and Hanamura were banned up by the members of Lil Rubies. Dragonshire and Battlefield of Eternity were banned up by the members of Big Ding Energy. First map was Towers of Doom, chosen by Lil Rubies. They lost that. As a losing team, they can either choose first pick or map pick. It is going to be first pick on the side of Lil Rubies, once again respecting the Tracer. And this will be map choice coming out from the side of Big Ding Energy, and they have chosen Volskaya Foundry.
Yeah, Volskaya is it's a fun map in my opinion. It's a map that you can get a lot of value off of, again, a wide range of heroes. You get a lot of value off that double soaking. The teams that double soaks a little bit better generally has a lead when the objective spawns. You also get a lot of value off doing camps. It's one of the most camp efficient maps in that your camp usually helps you win the objective, where most camps on maps will only maybe get value elsewhere. And so that's the thing. This map gets you value immediately. I think Sylvanas is something that's highly prioritized, and we also have Kagirii on that side. Merc Queen with those turrets, you can buff the damage of the turrets by just picking Sylvanas and taking a level 4 talent. And you can turn off the opposing team's turrets, allowing you an even greater chance to win. But Lashes is like, nope, I'm done tanking. I'm taking Deckard first, and we're gonna roll with this. Jazzy ends up taking the Sylvanas, and last week we saw Jazzy dominate on Sylvanas.
All right, let me get some thanks here to everyone in chat, because I see you all want the bits for you want to hit that 75%. Sir Onion Knight, thank you for the bit. Darkshear, thank you for the 400. More Chips, thank you for the 5. Mexi, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Holly Beard, thank you for the $25. The messages show turtle, please. Budman, thank you for the 200. Kojo, thank you for the 400. We have so many other bits coming in. Cal, thank you for the 1,052. Enjo, I think, thank you for the 100. Fizzbot, thank you for the 1,000. There's so many of you in there. Thank you all so much. I can't catch all of them because we got to talk about this draft, but thank you seriously for supporting, and thanks for pushing towards that goal for the players, but also to see that turtle. All right, so we got Decker King, Greymane, Jaina on the left-hand side, Sylvanas, Ragnaros on the right. We are in our second ban phase. On the left-hand side, they do need a main tank. ETC's not a bad ban. They're going to get rid of that immediately. Paradox, what are you thinking here when it comes to ban on the left-hand side from Lil Rubies?
I mean, there's no healer out yet, but it would be kind of hard to ban everything. I would say Malfurion ban would actually go pretty far. They could go with the Hanzo again. I mean, you can get rid of the Garrosh, but now Mochrie's just going to play Hanzo. So you're kind of in a rough situation about that. There's not a lot of answers to... You can't just always ban everyone out. But getting rid of the Garrosh is a nice step in the right direction. And Garrosh is really good on this map, too. People have to walk into you to get on the point, and Garrosh can immediately set up with that. So I do think it's a good ban.
Turtle?
Are we there? Okay. Let me see. If he's getting really grumpy, let me see. But
okay, because we can do it after this game. Like, we can hold out till after this game, because I don't want to rush things too quickly. I want Twitch chat to be able to see the turtle. But they're gonna check on that really quickly. This is gonna be Rhaegar on the right-hand side with a Varian. We might see Twin Blades Varian with a Bloodlust. Could be possible, but I'm expecting this to be more of a single target lockdown with the taunt. Ragnaros being able to drop a lot of damage, Sylvanas being able to do the exact same thing, and Rhaegar coming in, biting some butts as well. Turtle on stream! There it is, everybody. There it is. That is the turtle you've all been asking for. And no riot in chat, please. So thank you very much for all of your bits for the players, but to also be able to see the turtle. They're doing a sleep. Alrighty, so we do have a Thrall and an Arthas to be picked on the left-hand side, so they'll round things out for them, looking to be able to kind of get some attack speed slow onto this Varian, as well as the Ragnaros are going to step into them, maybe a little bit on the Rhaegar as well. Last pick on the right-hand side, going to actually be a Medivh. Paradox, you come back to a full draft. What do you think of this last pick, Medivh?
Oh, this is wild. Okay, so we've got a tank Varian. We've got we had a swap. So Lashes, no, Lashes grabbed. Did Lashes or Lakefu?
Lakefu.
Lakefu grabbed Deckard first.
Oh no, it was on Lashes. It was on Lashes.
Oh,
first.
It was Lashes. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lashes grabbed the Deckard. We've got Arthas against. I mean, this is interesting. It could go in a lot of different ways. I think if the fights go long, it's definitely in favor of Lil Rubies. And if the game hits level 20, the fights will go long, because Liam likes to go Earthquake. And Earthquake at level 20 is going to give that huge shields that'll make sure that the fights go long. It's all going to come down to, do we hit 20 and do the fights go long? Either way, would you like to introduce Lil Rubies?
Yeah, we got Trikslyr on the Greymane. We've got Lashes on the Deckard. We'll see Vesper or Liam on that Thrall. Not Kagirii on the Jaina. And Lakefu will be on the Arthas.
On the right side, we have Big Ding Energy, or BDE on the screen. We've got Mochrie on Medivh, which is very different. Haven't seen him playing Medivh in CCL at all. Jazzy on Sylvanas, she's dominated with it. Aullora on her Ragnaros. Vipey on Varian, which is a little new as well. And we've got Alicia on Rhaegar.
Really quickly, as we get into mid lane and check out our level 1s as our first engagement, just really want to thank you all at home for donating those bits. The memes aside, thank you seriously for putting more money into this prize pool for these players. It seriously means so much to us, and it's awesome to see you all cheering these players on and just increasing this prize. Like, I keep saying increasing the prize pool, but literally, like, it changes it so drastically from week 1 to 2 to 3 and onwards. So just thank you all so much. We really, really appreciate the support you've brought to the table this evening, and we all love you very much. But we'll get into Volskaya Foundry here as the rotations break out. Mochrie and friends going to be jumping on the Trikslyr, trying to punish them a little bit for being further out in the lane on that Grey main, but they do have Lakefu just anchoring and stepping up with the rest of the team, saying, no, you're not going to be able to get a kill on our Grey main that easily.
Yeah, it's honestly, I mean, this is going to be an interesting early game. I definitely think that as far as the wave clear, we have 2 non-traditional. Whoa. Aullora living with like 10 health against Liam, who went really aggressive for that. A couple B steps. I would say respect B steps, though, to be honest. Central is it? We got that being called. Anyways, yeah, I mean, overall, very unusual tanks. Not unusual, but just uncommon tanks. I really like these tanks. Varian's actually been one of my favorite counters lately for Joanna. You can bait a team into taking Joanna, get that shield breaker, shield break the trait, and then immediately taunt, follow up by something like a Tychus, and Tychus just melts the Joanna, dies in 3 seconds. And it's just kind of a fun thing to do if you can bait someone into taking that Joanna, which isn't difficult to do. But yeah, these are really fun tanks to see in this, because we just generally don't see these tanks.
I'm sorry, I'm cracking up from the chat message from the 2 solo laners, just you know, having a casual conversation in bottom lane as the rest of the team's going to be fighting over the biotic emitter in top lane. We are going to be seeing a Howling Blast from one, Vipey stepping out of the point. There's going to be a taunt from them. Trikslyr is able to grab the biotic emitter using it immediately. Vesper comes up here. Jazzy getting very low. Chain heal coming out, but that's going to be Rhaegar going down first in this engagement. Root from Decker. Kane's going to find one. Vipey goes down as well. Mochrie just trying to get stacks on that baseline quest. Trikslyr a little too low. Mochrie going forward. The potion's going to be there. Greymane doesn't find the Dark Flight they need. Oh, they're playing with fire here, as that's going to be some snow dumped on their head, and that's stacks reset for... Oh, did someone have issues with their Hearth key all of a sudden again? That's a common thing as of late. Like, weird thing here and there, like, people will win a fight and they're like, do I Hearth? Do I not Hearth? Do I Hearth? It must be some new tactic that they're developing, like these short little hearths, like maybe it speeds up the animation time or something like that.
Yeah, it could be a tech, or it could simply just be hesitation. We're really never going to know for sure. At the same time, I do think that their T key might also be broken. Maybe they rebound their spray to be close to their back key. So maybe they like accidentally pressed that at the same time, and they still weren't sure whether or not they were backing. So either way, we are approaching level 7s, and it's I mean, it's going to cut it really close as far as level 7s. Both teams still have, I mean, they both use their turrets, so we don't need to really worry about that. But it's really just going to come down to which team gets level 7s and if one of these teams makes a play. I really am excited for level 10s, though, because, I mean, we've got Arthas, which could go for Syndragosa. Probably won't, but it could go for Syndragosa. We've got, again, that potential for Earthquake. You probably wouldn't want Syndragosa and Earthquake, but, I mean, hey, one can dream, right? We also have that potential for Ring of Frost. Ring of Frost with Earthquake is okay, only because it's easier to land when everyone's slowed. I don't know. I'm really excited for level 10, but level 7s do get picked up first by blue team, yet they just walk away because they already won 25% of it. They want to get their turret, but look at this portal play. 5 people immediately charging in, taking out Kagirii, and Thrall is not there to help out. The turret is dropped. Turret for a turret. They had to use theirs just to win the other one, but they were also able to get a kill with that.
I saw the portal forward, and I was just like, let's see how this goes, because it was so like 50-50 for me, because you know, standing underneath Jaina damage is always really, really terrifying. 3 waves of Blizzard. Vesper sees that portal coming up. They're gonna try and sidestep it. They do have that Monotide at level 1, and it's not gonna yield. Yeah, they literally the Nexus forces will get the kill in that top lane. 7 to 8 in experience, 3 to 3 in kills. Control point's gonna be going over the side of Big Ding Energy for now. As the portal comes through, Lakefu is going to be the target once again. There's a slowing totem out as well. Root out from Deckard, but they're not able to stop them. This will be first objective over to the side of Big Ding Energy.
It definitely is. Now, I do want to ask you a question. We see Rolling Thunder out of Thrall, and this has been one of those talents that I pulled out a calculator. I wrote a whole thing about this talent after they made the rework, and I still am not a huge fan of it. Is this a talent that you see a lot? I mean, you've casted way more games than I have. Is it a talent like I love Echo of Elements so much that it's so hard. Maybe I'm just biased, but I mean, what do you think his reasons for going that talent were?
I think it's just that they're just trying to get more self-healing, but even then, like, extra charges give you self-healing too. So and maybe it's the percent base damage coming out from it. Like, I've never, well, this actually gives you increased bounces as well, which I completely forgot about, but maybe it's the increased bounces, maybe it's the percent off of people. I'm never 100% sure. Like, I've actually never asked a Thrall player, because typically it's Echo the Elements or we get some Trash Lightning.
Yeah, I mean, Crash Lightning's one of them that, again, like, I'll pull out the calculator. Like, unless you're on Braxis and you can stack that up very early, I don't even want to see it. Like, ARAMs, I love it in ARAMs, but otherwise I don't want to see it, because Echo scales really well too, and you can really hit one target twice. Oh, Thrall is taking a ton of damage, gets polyed, gets taunted, arrow, and a portal. He was not getting out of that. There was no way. He did take Earthquake though, so that's gonna be great if they can get to level 20. But look at how aggressive Big Ding Energy is playing. They are constantly going for these kills. They do have Bloodlust. They've got an amazing comp for it. They're doing really, really well. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Echo's like, it doubles your damage essentially with your Q, especially in short fight.
Bloodlust coming out. Stalewall, listen, to put things on a pause. That's going to be the Arthas going down first. Somehow Vipey lives through all of this. God healing from Alicia. They chase in further. Jazzy using the Banshees to try and jump onto Lashes. They get the Shadow Dagger out. Mochrie, do they have a portal? They're going to be trying to punish the old man. The raid boss comes through and gets a hammer on them, and that will be Sylvanas actually stealing the kill away at the end, but they're going to go ahead and grab themselves this camp for the top lane. They should be able to get a free fort from this as well, and that's going to be a huge advantage for this next control point for them, which should be opening up in a few seconds. On the same note of Crash Lightning for Thrall, this is also another map where when Volskaya came out, Thrall had a big resurgence coming into the 4-man and, you know, doing those rotations from top to mid, because you just have so many fights over these control points as well as between top and mid, and I've seen some Thralls try and finish it out that way. There's been like one Thrall, I think, in my entire casting experience that actually finished it like sub 10 minutes or sub before the game was over.
Oh yeah.
And it was actually on this map, but that's, oh, Vesper taking so much damage. They're gonna actually live through that with the Earthquake, giving them so much Frostwolf resilient stacking. There's the Polybomb actually being spread the last second as well. Lash is spreading that out as well, and they're gonna find a second kill. The Polybomb value coming out for the side of Big Ding Energy, and Trikslyr running with the Meatball. Vipey, do they step into tower range for the taunt? Protection's there. They get the taunt, but they just back off.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta also remember, when this map came around and when Thrall had that resurgence with Crash Lightning, this was a time that Crash Lightning only needed to get 20 stacks to start prioritizing heroes, and it stacked to 40, which means that you would get the stacks done relatively early, the 20, and then the last 20 were so easy to get. It's been shifted around, and it's just a weird talent now, because it's like, if you want more scaling, Echo doubles the damage of your Q. So once you hit a later level, Echo just outscales even a completed Crash Lightning. So it's interesting. However, in this game, 3-9, Earthquake doesn't really come online until later, unless you're comboing it with something else that you can jump in on slowed targets, and it's going to be tricky. They have to give up the first half of this so that they can get level 13. Level 13 will bring Icy Veins, one of the biggest power spikes for Jaina. At the same time, what else can you see Lil Rubies try to do to take this game?
This is kind of, they're kind of being backed into a wall a little bit right now. I was thinking about jumping into their comms, but I think this is just going to be a little bit of passive play until we see even talent tiers. So we're going to hang out for a little bit. We're going to wait, portal forward. They're going to be looking for Thrall, but they don't find it, so they take the portal back and they jump back towards the objective phase. They do have Alicia on the corner of that, and the top lane fort goes down to the Ragnaros. But with 13 talent tier now arrived, will they try and make a play for top? I'm trying to watch their posturing. I think they're going to. Let's jump into their comms right now.
Before it hits.
4, 5,
oh no, we might not even
be
gonna be close. Yikes. Alright, we gotta get out then.
Okay.
Drop the teleport here.
She's gonna Monkcore this, so maybe we'll just
It's fine. We can just play for late game. Our 20, like if we get to 20, is insane.
Yeah.
Well, Sky, we can get there. Alright, I'm clearing top and I'll join for the defense. On the way.
I'll clear up mid. They're going bottom. We should go match.
Okay.
The curse continues as we jump into comms, and they just narrowly miss getting on the point. So that'll be second Trickle Protector going over in favor for Big Ding Energy.
Yep, and it's a rough one. They need to immediately fight in this or not fight in it at all, because level 16s are approaching, and it's gonna be very, very rough. They need to deal with this, and they can't lose a keep here. If they lose a keep here, they're gonna really struggle. They need to hit 16s, they need to hold their own, and they need to make their way to level 20, which means they eventually need to win one of these fights. They're getting the Trigger off low. Medivh is in there. They could go for him, but they need to make sure that they lock him down, or else he could just simply shield himself and then teleport away. I mean, this is... Sorry.
Back to no, I'm just gonna say. I mean, I'm gonna say back to our conversation on Thrall level 1, because we keep bouncing on this, and these are kind of good moments during this game when there's some lulls as well. I am catching chat actually saying that Rolling Thunder also has synergy with Monetide, since the text is that it gives you trait stack with each auto. So I think there's also, it's not only just the level 1, but it's also the level 4 synergizing with that, and that's maybe it. Seems like there's the general skimming that I'm getting is that it's very good in the 1v1 trade sort of situation. You also get procs off of minions or something like that. So.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's really good in the 1v1, but you don't need to win the 1v1 on this map, right?
True.
Like, it's a team fight map, you know, and you're not going to be able to get those auto attacks off on 5 different people in a team fight. You're going to get it off on 1 person, meaning that this talent is really weak in team fights. And this is a map that you don't need to win those 1v1s. In fact, he lost the 1v1. Rag destroyed him. I mean, I wouldn't.
Towers and lag. Hold on. Let's.
Oh yeah, sorry. Lag destroyed him, and Central. I apologize, but it's like it makes me really wonder, because I did see him miss 1 kill in the previous set when he took Rolling Thunder. I went back, I looked at the game, and he missed 1 kill by not taking Echo, and it's like, maybe that 1 kill didn't make a huge difference, but missing a kill by taking a different talent always makes me think a little bit, because it's like, well, what if it did make a difference, right? What if that 1 kill was the kill that made it to where they could come back? And that's what I always think about. In this case, though, we do have 16s being picked up by Lil Rubies. We do see the Root coming out. We see Safety in numbers. We see Alpha Killer. Are these some odd talent choices? These are not ones that I usually see.
I'm actually looking at Jaina's 13, and that's exactly what I was just like, wait a minute, yeah, no, Stormfront for Jaina at that level 13. Numbing Blast for Jaina is like Northern Exposure, Numbing Blast, those are both great talents. This one with a 1-second root, that's huge. That way they can just keep someone in place even longer. So you root, taunt, Ragnaros drops a bunch of damage, Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas, Polybomb, maybe you're a sheep from Medivh. So there's just so much. Excuse me, I completely read that backwards. The root from Jane is going to be following up with the Arthas. I completely swapped her to the opposing side team. But you still have follow-up from the Thrall with another root. You have the root from Arthas as well, so you can just dump damage on top of someone who's just sitting there for anywhere from 3 to 5 seconds. 16 to 18 in levels, 3 to 9 in our kills. We are going to have Control Point C opening up here next, and Thrall will be grabbing the camp with the help of the rest of the team. Mochrie in that bird form on Medivh is just going to be scouting out. Portal's there, but I think this is just more of a threat than anything else.
It is. It's not going to be too much. I do want to point out, this is a lot of % health damage, which is interesting because they're going into a team that doesn't have very big health bars. Varian's one of the lower health tanks, even with Taunt giving him more health. And the rest of their team doesn't have a lot, which is telling me something. It's telling me that they think that they're going to lose this next objective, and they don't want to lose the game. % health does pretty well against the Protector. It's not perfect, but it does pretty well against the Protector, and I think that's what they're worried about right here, is the enemies are going to wait till level 20s, and they need to force a fight early, or they need to draft to not lose on this next one. Once they get 20s, they'll have a chance. So I think it's definitely an interesting strategy with those talents that they're taking. And with that being said, I mean, do you want to get in the comms of one of these teams?
Let's do Big Ding Energy right now.
Another 15 seconds till end there.
Are we giving it?
No. We got it. Like I'm almost here. Alrighty, we have 3 items. We got this level 20. Let's go. Deep portal in case you need it. They don't do anything to us. Just win the fight. Let's straight up drop all your items. Use all your shit. Let's go.
I'm on Lakefu. I'm on Trick.
Poly, deep portal. Take it. Ah, shit. The fucking kid.
Come on, deck.
I know, I fucking hate this thing.
We chose this now.
I'm gonna bite her.
Portal 2.
I'm gonna bite him.
Portal now.
I have trait. Ah!
Nice.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah, trade.
Black arrows. Let's go. End bottom.
Dang, that, like, the shot calling there was just push all your buttons, win the fight, and, well, they did.
Yeah, I mean, Mockrie was not wrong. They had everything going for him in that fight. They had the heal camp. They had 2 turrets. They have Sylvanas to buff up the turrets. They were like, there's no way we lose this fight. Just press buttons, win the fight. We see Trick in the backline getting a quick kill, but that is game number 2. That is a 2-0 for Big Ding Energy. This is their second 2-0, and it is really putting them ahead. Now this next week, I mean, we're going to see 2 2-0 teams going against 2-0 teams, right? So it's going to be wild, but man, that was a game. I really was expecting them to just give up that last objective. Hey, you know what? We're 17. Let's take some % health. Let's try to deal with the Protector. Even though most likely they would have lost there, their odds were better trying to take that than fight against the Protector than fight against 3 items and a level 17 to level 20. That was brutal. So overall, I mean, that was rough. Maybe some other calls, and again, this is where I'm talking about for these teams need more time to work together. They need to get these strategies. I mean, we had a last minute roll swap and not enough time to practice it, I don't think.
Well, let's find out what they think about it on the side of Big Ding Energy. We're going to go ahead and pull Mockrie in here at this time. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory. How you feeling there, bud?
Feeling good. I am unbannable. My hero pool is a hero ocean, and there's nothing you can do about it. Woof.
That's some confidence coming out. I will say this. We jumped into your comms for that last fight, and is this a pretty standard shot call for you, just to push all your buttons, drop all your things, and win the fight? Because honest to God, that's the best shot calling I've ever heard in my entire life.
Okay, so we've got 3 items. We're up level 20. Their comp is completely useless into a Medivh. Is that not the correct call? Given the circumstances,
I'm not questioning the call. I'm just questioning, are these what your comps normally like? Because this is wild.
Absolutely. When I shot call, you know, I like to get the team into a mode. I call a mode, all right? So we got camp mode in the early game. We got don't throw mode when we go up 2 levels. And you saw that at the end. When I'm over here split pushing top lane, getting us level 20, that was don't throw mode. That was dance party mode under the fort. And then we have press all your buttons mode, which is what you shift into if you successfully execute don't throw mode. And that's what you saw right there. That's when you can go in and make those big boy plays. And that's exactly what we did. Easy money.
One real quick last question for me. This is going to come from chat. How can an 8-year-old have such a deep voice?
I will personally fight each and every person in Twitch chat myself. Meet me outside at the flagpole, 3 o'clock.
Bike Rex, you're going to have to fight 529 people, so good luck with that one.
One at a time? I got it. Easy money.
Kung Fu movie style, but Paradox.
Yeah.
Any questions for Mockrie?
I mean, honestly, game 1, we've seen this map, we've seen this draft, we've seen everything there, and we talked about it before. It was exactly the same. I want to know what is going on in this like cacophony of a draft right now. We've got Medivh, we've got Sylvanas. I mean, I get Sylvanas, I get Rag. What is happening with the rest of this draft? I love it. It worked. I saw it in action. But like, let's break it down. Medivh, Varian, Rhaegar, thoughts.
Medivh, Varian, Rhaegar. Okay, so I could tell that they were going into blow up Jaina Greymane. You know, you typically will want to isolate a person and blow them up. Very important we grab the cleanse right there. Earth Shield helps mitigate that as well. And then when I saw how deeply they were investing into that play style, I was like, wait, protected, by the way. And I just picked that up. And I was like, they literally can't get kills. If you have a Thrall, Greymane, Jaina, how do you get kills through protected? Because you blow all your stuff and then it doesn't work, and then you don't have anything left in the tank. Variant, I think we had just burned through most of the meta tank roster by that point. And so we just kind of picked something that felt good, and it worked. It worked. He felt that he would be able to shut down the Greymane whenever he went in. I felt that I'd be able to shut down their whole roster. I felt that the cleanse was good into the CC that I knew they were going to have to pick to supplement those early picks. So I don't know. I feel like there was good logic behind all of those.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly worked. You guys killed it in macro, and you guys dominated in team fights. So overall, very, very solid, awesome games, and that's what I like to see. I was so worried that we saw such strong combos, and I saw the same team comp on the same map, and I was like, oh no, are we gonna see the Hanzo again? Are we gonna see all the same stuff out of this team every week? And it was like, I saw this draft and I was like, what is happening? And I was like, this is great, I love it. So I mean, seriously solid. Baha?
No, these games were absolutely amazing. It's just good games, good layered heroics, good drafting, shot calling, synergy between all your team. You definitely showing that the practice you're doing in between weeks is really paying off for your team. Before I let you run out of here, Mochrie, are there any shouts that you'd like to give? The floor is all yours, my friend.
All right, shout outs to my teammates, honestly. And also, I got to say, Aullora shouted me out week 1. I got to shout her out week 2. I did not forget both games with the early first blood on the enemy solo lane. I believe it was first blood both times.
I think so, you're right, yeah.
And I mentioned, we've got that don't throw mode. You only go into don't throw mode when you're ahead, when you've got that nice lead. And the way you build up that lead is that solid early game. And Aullora consistently exerting pressure on the enemy solo laner helps us to be able to get into that position where we're comfortable. We know what we need to do. We don't need to do anything risky to try and get back into the game when we've already got it under control. The way we get into that control is through that steamrolling early game that we've seen out of Aullora over and over and over again. Definitely shout outs to the whole team, but especially Aullora on that one.
Well, thank you so much for the interview. Thank you so much for the games. Congratulations to your 2-0 victory. And we look forward to seeing you all next week in week 3 of CCL. You have a wonderful night and enjoy your victory as a team.
You too as well. See you later, guys. GG's.
Alrighty, Paradox. That is going to be wrapping things up for us this week. But before we go, let's give everyone a little bit of an update on what the standings are in totality after tonight. What are teams looking positive wise, negative wise? And maybe we can also look forward to after this, what's our matchups next week. So Not Safe for Work from Home, they're going to be +4 along with Big Ding Energy, both teams taking 2-0s in week 1 and week 2. Lil Rubies and Pentanoms, both teams 0-2 this week and last. So there's a little bit of work that needs to go into Lil Rubies and Pentanoms synergy, maybe shot calling, maybe their draft, but either way, we're still in store for a wonderful week number 3. What are we going to be seeing next week, Paradox?
Well, next week we are going to be seeing these 4-0 teams and the 0-4 teams go against each other. And this is going to be a great time for these teams to kind of figure out where they actually stand. The 2 4-0 teams, if nothing changes, are likely also going to see each other in the finals. So this will give each other a time to kind of scrim against each other, right? Now, these points are still going to certainly help in where you get positioned, but this will give them a lot of time to research and really determine what they need to be doing. As far as the 0-4 teams, they need to adjust their play a little bit. And this is going to allow them to really determine where they stand. And maybe if they can adjust it, this is where they can get a practice game and push themselves back up and possibly still get back into that top row in the finals for that. So overall, I mean, it's going to be, these teams all need to improve. But at the same time, I mean, this next week is going to be huge. It really is.
Next week will be a massive one. We want to quickly once again thank our sponsor, Juked. Thank you so much for supporting this esport event. Definitely go check out their website, juke.gg, a wonderful place for tons of all of your esports action. I've actually been checking that website out on the weekends when I'm just like, I want to throw something random on while I'm cleaning the house. You can go on their website and they've got listings for, you can break it down by game, by event, by size of event, like if it's a major or a minor, because I know, some of the other MOBAs have kind of that categorization for their different events and such. I think even like some FPS is the same thing. So definitely check out juked.gg. You can find a lot of esports content there, much like the Heroes of Storm stuff you're seeing right now. But week 1 was a blast. Week 2 was even better, but week 3, I'm already itching for it to be next Wednesday. But until then, Paradox, where can people find you and what are you up to?
So, guys, if you don't know who I am NotParadox. I am one of the largest educational YouTubers for Heroes of the Storm. I tend to put a psychology, philosophy approach into it, use a lot of quotes from like big coaches and other things from sports and esports all around. You can find all of my stuff by just Googling NotParadox, but primarily on YouTube. So make sure to check that out. What about you, Baha? Where can they find you?
Well, you can find me Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, Bahamut Gaming. I do a lot of casting of Heroes of the Storm. Tomorrow night I'll be casting once again, and I will plug my own channel because it is my dog's birthday tomorrow. Bandit will be 6 years old. Come by. We're going to be doing a variety box that you can buy through the internet that has things for your dog, toys and treats and such. As well as I'll be probably going to the store and buying too many toys in celebration as well. So swing by for that one tomorrow night. As I said, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Bahamut Gaming everywhere. But until CCL next week for week number 3, our final week of round robin play to determine our seeding for our page playoff brackets. I've been Bahamut with NotParadox, and you all have a great night. We'll see you in the Nexus.
Mm-hmm.